terrible student when it came to like arithmetic and like doing like math and history and all that. I just didn't get it. I was never like a school kid. And I was always like a music, arts kid. That, you know, I was always in the art room, always in the auditorium by myself, getting in trouble for playing the piano when you're not supposed to be touching it, kind of stuff. And so I dropped out, and I was in foster care at the time. My mom has been in and out of prison my entire life. I've lived with grandmothers, aunts,
our family,
her family, like just everybody. And then I was in foster care for 3 years. Signed myself out at 18, dropped out of high school, got my GED, and I was homeless for a while. From like the end of June till like July, had really no plan of what I was going to do. I just tried to get a job and do stuff like that, didn't work. So I tried to move to Arizona, did not work. I tried out for American Idol there, didn't make it. And then came back to where we're from, which is upstate New York. And a friend called me and she was like, there's American Idol auditions in New York City, I'm taking you, you have to try out, you have to do this. And I was just like, okay, you know, I can't really say no if you're like making me go. So like after trying out 4 times and not making it, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'll just go do this again and try and fail. And so I was actually homeless at the time, living in a hotel. My mom had just gotten out of jail. We were living in a hotel trying to find an apartment where we live. Our town's really small, about 5,000 people altogether. My graduating class was 52 people, like really small rural environment. And so I went down, I slept on the street for 3 days. Outside the auditions, you get registration, then you have to go in, and 18,000 people showed up to the New York City auditions. Out of 18,000, only 1,000 people made it to the next round. Out of that 1,000 people, only 500 made it to the executive producers, and then only 200 people made it to actually Paula, Simon, Randy, and Kara, just in New York City alone. Like, that's average for each city. Like, 20,000 people show up and 500 or 200 make it to the judges. Out of the 200 that made it in New York City to the judges, only 19 of us made it to Hollywood. So overall, out of 100,000 people, about 200, like 170 to 200 people made it to Hollywood. And out of that 200, by the end of the week, there was only 50 of us left, and then after the 50, there was only 36. So, I mean, yeah, I didn't like win the show or anything, and I'm not like this big household superstar name, but like, I made it from 100,000 people down to just 36 people who got to sing on national television, which I thought was pretty cool. And if you guys actually, did any of you guys watch the show this year? Watching the show? So like, yeah, I mean, you guys probably saw Hollywood Week. It was like crazy. I was in the group from hell that yelled at each other and screamed and fought all the time.
Were you the one with the cussing mad girl?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was me. We were actually just at the beach and somebody mistook me for Adam Lambert, and I was like, no, actually, but I was on the show too, so awesome, thank you. But yeah.